Questions she may have.
Thank you so much, Chairman, for the recognition. And I would just note that this non-binding resolution does not address in any way all the things that our colleague, who is now leaving, yelled about for the last 7 minutes, because it does not address fentanyl. This Congress has refused to address fentanyl. It has not addressed immigration. This Congress, the Republicans have refused to address immigration reform. What it does do, though, is express an opinion that I believe is contrary to Americans' basic sense of decency and humanity. Our basic humanity, our asylum laws, and Scripture all guide us to be better than this. In the New Testament, Matthew says, I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty and you gave me drink. I was a stranger and you welcomed me. Deuteronomy, the Old Testament counsels that you shall also love the stranger, for you were once strangers in Egypt. America's asylum and refugee laws were written after World War II, when we turned back to St. Louis carrying 937 Jews seeking refuge from the Holocaust. We know what happened to most of them. So I am very saddened that today we take up this non-binding resolution, which, as the chairwoman has said, is a priority of the majority. This is a priority of the Republican majority. And the language says it is necessary to keep children safe. Let's talk about safety. Last week, Republicans passed a bill to allow people to use high-powered weapons with shoulder braces without enhanced background checks and safety regulations. Ranking Member Scott, remind us once again, what is the biggest killer of school children in America?
Firearms.
Firearms.
Firearms, and if we're going to talk about school safety, you've got to talk about guns.
You got to talk about guns, but we're not really talking about guns. What I'd also point out is the manner in which it does target immigrants. Undocumented immigrants toil in the hot sun to pick the food that we eat. They take on the hardest, most dangerous jobs in the slaughterhouses, caring for our elders, caring for our children. They build our houses in the hottest places, in the most dangerous places. They fill in the gaps. Indeed, more than 5 million undocumented immigrants, including more than half of all DACA recipients and the majority of TPS holders, are considered essential critical infrastructure workers. America does not work without immigrants. When I meet with contractors, ranchers, home builders, and so many others, they want us to get immigration reform done. But that's not what we're doing today. We are honoring Immigration Heritage Month with this mean-spirited, non-binding resolution. And before I close, I want to talk about another example about how schools serve as shelter. Last year, during New Mexico's largest wildfire, schools opened up their gyms to those fleeing the fire. We know that this happens across the country in hurricanes and disaster after disaster. Those who vote for this resolution would give their opinion in support of taking funding away from those schools if there were any undocumented among those sleeping on those cots, saddened by the conditions they find themselves in. That is what this resolution expresses an opinion about. Our students, our nation, we are better than this. We are a moral people, and we know we should be better. And with this, I yield back, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Gentleman from South Carolina is recognized for any questions he may have.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, after hearing